I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi, depending on where you know me from. Author, poet, book reviewer, illustrator, narrator. And right now, I am working my way through some backlogged book reviews in between illustration panels that I am doing in other projects as I await the time for the Ian's Realm saga to finally hit the public release. Today, I am here to review the book Enchantress by James Maxwell. I found it highly enjoyable and very well written, so this is yet another one that gets a 5-star rating from me because I did not find anything to detract from a 5-star rating. I would place this as a young adult book, and you can find this at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, any place where you get your books from, ask for it. Strong female characters do not always have to be embroiled in romance. Fate places a brother and his sister to claim their destiny, perhaps save countries, and meet the Evermen. Tested to beyond their limits, they must grow, overcome, or die. They were originally fighting to defend themselves as the last uprising had been brought on by believing the emperor to have been abusing his power. In reading through the story myself, it stated that all the books of lore were aspects of the same jewel. Also reading in the book, the Templar had been the one to orchestrate the entire mess originally, because he felt that the emperor and lords were not doing anything to help him provide for the dispossessed that came to his city and the seat of their gods, the Evermen. We even meet a former Everman no less than twice, the old guy that assists both Ella and Killian. To me, the quotes added depth and something to provide a comparison to what happened in each chapter, lessons that those previous had already learned, but others forgot about. This jumps around far less than other epic novels, with more than one main character that I have read. I do think, though, that this is a sort of book that some might want to take notes on as they read, because there is so much covered. I did notice that there was at least one 1-star review, and it caught my eye as it was so different from my own. I had to grab the text of their experience from their review, as I'd like to discuss it. This woman, named Rachel, would not recommend it. She found the characters to have no depth and to do a bunch of things that don't make any sense to her. She finds that the story jumps around constantly, believes that nothing is ever fully explained, and though she read the whole thing, she couldn't tell you anything about the runes, the lore, the primates, the Evermen, lexicons, dirigibles, essence activations, or any of the weapons involved in the battle. She couldn't even tell you why the battles were even happening, according to herself, or what they were fighting over. The magic that governs the land has constant loopholes, in her opinion, and doesn't make any sense, and she finds that she saw the plot twists coming from a mile away. There are graphic war scenes and graphic sex scenes that sound like they were written by an adolescent boy, in her opinion. I didn't find them very graphic. And personally, I thought that they were sounding more like they were written by an adult. I've read some graphic sex scenes by young teenagers, and this is certainly much better than those. But to each their own all previous exposures. You know, I'm not invalidating what she's saying. She believes them to be that way. She thought that there was a ton of dialogue that served no purpose. The quotes at the beginning of each chapter she felt were random and out of context, and the repetitive names of the characters and spells they chant she thought were cringeworthy. Now, my reply to their review is as follows. I want to know if the book would have been easier to understand if she had followed Ella and Miro's adventures as separate novellas, and I'm interested in how her experience in reading this is so much different from my own, because I followed it all very easily. So I find it absolutely intriguing when someone's experience with a book is so very different than my own. I don't ever expect a reply. But she did raise some very valid points. This is definitely going to be something that I would recommend taking notes on while you're reading. Because if you're not paying attention, you are going to miss the explanations that are all in the text. If you're used to simple stories, you're going to get lost. If you're looking for a meaty, interwoven story, you might like this. If you're looking for a light read, I wouldn't recommend it. Also, there is a lot of jumping around from character to character. I don't have a problem with it. I follow it easily. Other people will have a harder time with that. So, with that, if it sounds interesting to you, please do get it. One of the books that I'm currently reading right now is the sequel to this. I've been looking forward to having a little bit of time to read a paragraph here and a paragraph there, and then to go back and reread it when I have more time. Because I have other books that I'm also reviewing, and then also trying to squeeze in my own writing time. So, I look forward to meeting you in the next review. Until then, good night.